So we got some Asmongold drama. So apparently this is blowing up where people are mad at Asmongold for his take on Hasan. So we're gonna watch the video here and see what everyone's mad about. See what we think of it.
I actually wasn't even planning on streaming today. I was like, I think I'm gonna just take the day off. But I started reading Twitter. I was like, man, there's a lot of retards.
Constantly.
Like, we gotta talk about this. Millionaire streamer Hasan Piker claims that a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you in the same way that streaming will. And the funny thing about this
I
is
can see that pissing a lot of people off.
Goes and he says this to try to like fucking throw up a white flag. He's like, no, I'm actually on your side. I agree with them. Bro, quit the fucking capping. Like, this kid is lying. You're lying. What do you mean you agree with this tweet when you preface it by saying millionaire streamer? You really think that we don't you think I haven't spent the last 20 years seeing Fox News do this shit? Seeing CNN
when you say
shit,
millionaire streamer, you're definitely
is trying to roast the shit out of
being
him.
rich.
Like, what are we talking about? What a little rat! I can't believe this. It's like this guy goes and farms a bunch of hate. My message to Hasan fans: get a job. But then he agrees with the tweet. What are you doing? What a little rat! This guy farms hate on Hasan. He gets 15 people from Hasan's chat saying, I don't agree with you. You took it out of context. And then he's got to make a follow-up tweet about it. Like, oh no, stop bullying me. He changed his mind because Destiny said he agrees with Hasan. TC Brady is in Destiny's Discord. It's good to know that it wasn't really a principled stance. Let's listen to what Hasan says. And this is the clip that's taken apparently out of context, and we'll watch the full context in a minute, okay?
Yes, a real job can be gruesome, a real job can make you very tired, but a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you, you know what I mean? In the same way that 9 hours of streaming absolutely will.
I mean, it can. I guess maybe he's saying it in the same way, but that's kind of a personal feeling. Like, I can see how people agree with that. Like, obviously, streaming nonstop, like, for these big streamers, like, definitely can be soul-sucking. If they're doing something they hate, but they're doing it because they feel like they have to, because that's their job. Like, I get that. But and I see why people are mad about that, because they're like, oh, well, you could just turn the stream off, and then anytime you want. I mean, that's, as a streamer, like, they're their own boss, is what it is. And so I think the people that would more agree with a streamer's take on it, with people that own businesses or running a business. So someone working a normal 9 to 5 probably gonna, I could see them getting mad at that when they're just looking at it at surface level and they're not trying to understand the streamer's perspective.
So,
okay,
yes.
So that's the original clip. And there's apparently, this is there's a clip here.
Yeah, what's the full
it's a 2-minute clip, and so this is him explaining what actually was said.
No.
Okay, here we go.
No. Social battery wise, unless you're in fucking retail, it's very different. You're out of touch. I'm gonna die, dude. There's motherfuckers who are accountants in here, and they're misunderstanding what I'm saying. A real job does not expend your social battery in the same fucking way as someone who did a sales job, a real job, okay? I'm telling you, as someone who did both, like, 9 hours of constant performance and people-pleasing taps you out from social scenarios. After 9 hours of that, I could probably do fucking physical labor. It would not bother me. But I can't fucking do more social shit. That's my point.
I'm the same way.
Like, there are...
So I can kind of see what he's saying there, because I worked tech support for Comcast, and that fucking sucked, because you got to deal with people nonstop. You got to talk to people all day. And I completely hated doing that. But I guess the difference is, as a streamer, like, they don't have to please the person. They don't have to, like, apologize nonstop. Oh, we're working on it. We're trying to fix it, and then have a performance review every month on how you did, and then have to review your calls in the same way. Like, obviously, like, a streamer's performance review would be, oh, let me go look at this. What are my numbers? How much money did I bring in that way? So I can kind of see his perspective on that. Like, when you're talking to people nonstop, it's different from being physically worn out from doing manual labor. Like, yeah, I guess that's what he means by social battery. Like, you don't want to deal with people anymore, because you're worn out, not physically but mentally. So on that end, yeah, customer service, someone working retail, when you're talking to people and having to deal with different people throughout the day, that's different than being physically worn out from, like, when I was in high school, I baled hay for a company for a while. That was also, that fucking sucked. But it wasn't that I had to talk to people. I had to manually shove hay into a fucking machine that could eat me, and then turn it into tiny bricks of hay, and then wrap that, and then stack that, and that's just physically, will wear you out. Which is different than working for fucking Comcast and dealing with stupid people all day on both ends, because then you got stupid people that call in, and then you get normal people that call in with stupid problems that's Comcast issue, and then you can't fix because Comcast is being fucking retarded. It's just from all ends sometimes.
There are obviously real jobs out there that are good comparisons. Service sector, people-pleasing jobs would be very similar. Those are, like, I think, customer service type shit. But, like, if you're an accountant, or if you're even, like, in sales, my interactions with clients was limited, way more limited than, like, constantly having to do this for 9 hours.
Well, I'd say it depends on who you're dealing with, because just because it's not a customer, you could be dealing with, like, a different department. That's still dealing with people. Or you've got a boss that's breathing down your neck. That could drain you that way. So an accountant could be mentally drained from dealing with people within the workplace the same way. The difference is you don't have that. It's a smaller group of people. I guess you could say. But I'd say they still get drained from person-to-person interactions in a similar way sometimes. As always, it's always going to depend.
With, like, a back and forth interaction for 9 hours, that's what like sucks your social battery, and you just tap out after it. Yeah, think about it this way. Like, you give presentations for your job, right? Imagine giving a presentation for 9 hours straight. It's like, after a while, you would be like, I don't want to talk.
Yeah, but when it comes to a presentation, it's not just giving the presentation. You're building up to that presentation. You're practicing for that presentation. Like, doing a presentation isn't just, it's a 1 hour presentation. You probably got 9 to 10 hours of work on that presentation building up to it. So I'd say that's still kind of draining of that same feeling of having to deal with people. You're just not dealing with them directly. You're building up because you have to go deal with people. Like, I gave a lot of presentations when I was in the Army, and so I see that angle as well.
Or the department manager just occasionally is just like, "Hey, you suck, bitch." Bald ass bitch, you fell off, huh? We're gonna remember this in your
in the Army.
review.
You can get that sometimes.
You fat fuck, stupid ass bitch.
Exact words you would hear.
Ever again.
But not.
So people getting mad. It's a bad take. What's it a bad take of?
Being on a stupid
he says that he gets
presentation,
exhausted socially because he's talking to people for 9 hours a day. You really think that's... You really think that's not true? I mean, you really think it's not true that after you spend 9 hours being investigated by thousands of people with every facial movement, everything you say, every word, with people constantly trying to disagree with you and fight with you, that's not socially draining? This is...
So is this what people are mad about? Because that's not what I was seeing on... I'd have to go find the tweets or something. Like, what I was seeing was people were mad that Hasan said streaming is harder than a normal job. And obviously that's stupid. I think streaming would probably be the easiest thing in the world. Compared to anything else, honestly. But that's not what he said. He just said it's draining in a different way. And then he cherry-picked a couple things. I don't even think he just picked a couple things at random that would be comparable, like a service job. And he's right. Anything dealing with people would be similar to a streaming to a certain extent. I mean, he glossed over a few things, like saying an accountant wouldn't get drained the same way. Well, I mean, it depends. Like some it depends on where you're at in that company, because some people who might be an accountant and they do accounting things most of the time might have to spend a day dealing with people for an issue, and so that could end up being that person to person draining kind of deal.
Totally understandable. And he's not comparing it to every other job. He's saying compared to other jobs where you're not talking to people constantly. His take isn't broad enough. Yeah, it is. He explained it pretty clearly. The clip out of context was posted 30 minutes after he said that. Instantly on Reddit, it blew up calling him a dumbass, which just reinforces his argument. Well, yeah, it's definitely understandable.
That's probably because people hate Hasan. Hasan's cooked in a lot of ways,
really
so
socially
I can
draining.
see people being mad at him for shit.
Not saying it isn't, but it's not as bad as others. I think that streaming as like a job,
but I don't disagree with him
is
there
extremely socially draining. It is.
Anything where you have to talk
there's
constantly,
a weird
I would agree there.
catch-22, where a lot of streamers are introverted, but being a streamer requires you to do a lot of things that extroverts want you to do. So, like, in order to be good at something, you have to be one way, and in order to cope with it, the success of being good at it, you have to be another way. And so that's what it is. Hasan's basically explaining that in a more, direct way, you could say, a simpler way, and he's getting shit on. But a lot of people think they're introverted whenever they're actually extroverts. Well, I don't know about that. Did you start the stream? You went right into this? Yeah, because I usually spend the first hour of my stream talking about nothing. And then I don't, play video games until, it's midnight or 5 hours into the stream. I didn't do anything. We gotta get this shit done. There's a lot of stuff to talk about today. I don't have time to fucking sit around and talk about, I went live late today because my back hurt. Oh my God. We really need to hear about this again? Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, no one would really care about that.
We're not going to get into that again. Having streaming as a job's an exhausting situation. Yeah, of course it is, right?
Any job's going to be exhausting. Anything you're doing
people are just
all the
reactionary.
time,
They
eventually you're
absolutely
going to
are.
get tired
Someone
of
actually
it.
said real job. What does that mean? A real job is a job that you have. Bullshit jobs are the ones that other people have. It's just that simple. It's quite trendy and quite frankly easy to shit on Hasan. That's the crux of it all. Well, hey, if it's...
A real job's anything you do all the time and you get paid for it. It doesn't matter what it is. That would be my take on it. A streamer is a real job. You're doing something every day and you're getting paid to do it. Just like an actor is a real job. Now, they're definitely paid way more than a normal job. If you're a big streamer or a big actor, there's definitely your low-level 9-to-5s who don't make all that much, and they're just, streaming 9 to 5 and getting a 9 to 5 type paycheck. Just because you have the outliers, the top 1% who are the Asmongold's are making millions, Like, does it make the whole thing not a real job? Because for every Asmongold, you probably got 10,000 people just making enough to pay their rent.
It's so easy to shit on him, then why are you making up fake reasons to do it? If he's got so many bad takes and he says all this stuff that's wrong, then why not focus on that rather than taking something that's totally understandable and then turning it into something that it's not?
Yeah, out of all the things that Hasan
He makes
says,
thousands of
that
dollars
was
a day. Him
pretty mild.
Him making takes, trying to relate to normal working people is fucking stupid.
I don't think he was trying to relate.
There are normal working people that
from that
also make
clip.
thousands of dollars a day. So, like, I don't really understand, like, what your point is.
And so that right there is something I saw everyone shitting on Asmongold too. And I watched a few minutes of his stream today, just a couple hours ago. I always watch Asmongold when he goes live for a little bit, and he addressed that specifically. So he clarified that up. Like, when he says normal, he's not talking like the average. And everyone voted in his chat that they thought they meant that would be the average. That's the normal for everybody to make thousands a day, and that's not what he meant. And from that context, I don't think that is what he meant. Like, when he says normal job, he means like what would be considered a normal job? Do you consider a plumber a normal job? Because the plumber can make thousands a day. Someone in construction can make thousands a day. Obviously, not every plumber is going to do that. But if you put in the time and you're the best at what you do, you can make that with what's considered a normal job.
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean? It's a stupid comparison. Yeah, like what? Like, you think streamer is the only job that you can make a lot of money in? I have tons of friends that make tons of money.
Yeah, I don't see why people are getting mad at this.
Streamers.
I feel it's disingenuous.
Yeah,
for people
what do you
to
mean?
Be mad
like
at that.
that's what the fuck? No.
He's not saying
Chatter can't think past two. Exactly.
Yeah.
They're not normal anymore. Well, I think that is normal as in, like, they don't work in entertainment. Right? They don't work in entertainment. Why do people
so he cleared it up in this video.
All your
Why are
issues and
people
doesn't
still
drain
mad?
you? Well, hey, Kanye West said it. He said that there I was gonna make a joke, but I figured, actually, you know what? We'll give that another 6 months before I make those jokes. He said having money isn't everything, but not having it is.
Yeah.
I think that's really the truth, right?
I mean,
That's it.
There's like a level you could have of money before it stops really helping out. Like, when you don't have any money, you definitely need more money. But there's like a scale, you know, like a sliding scale, I would imagine. Like, when you're just getting by, like, more money definitely is going to solve a lot of your problems. But at a certain point, when you just getting more money isn't going to keep solving the problems, because you're going to have different problems. So I doubt, like, once you get more money, few people are going to keep living the same way. And so when that money causes them to change how they live, they're going to get different problems. But I also see why people get pissed when they can barely make rent. Like, oh, what do you mean money would definitely solve my problems? Because, yeah, definitely more money would solve most people's problems, I would say. But only up to a certain point. But I guess, when someone who's got a lot of money is trying to say, well, I still have problems, like, someone who doesn't have money doesn't really want to listen to that, because that's not their perspective. And both views are kind of right.
So, like, if you don't have money, that's everything in your life. If you do have money, you realize that there are other problems in life that are also important. But if you don't have that, money is going to mean more to you than almost anything else.
Yeah, why are people mad at Asmongold for this video then?
Streamer doesn't make a lot of money. When you actually normalize the salary, engineers, doctors, people in trades make median more than a streamer. Streaming is extremely top heavy. Well, of course it is. And there are a lot of people that are grinding away, and they stream 8 hours a day, and they get, let's say, 300 viewers, 500 viewers. They make $100,000 a year. Let's be very, very optimistic here. They make $100,000 a year, and like, I'll be real. if somebody was making that much money and, you know, like it was like, is this really a good idea for you to do this? Probably not. $100,000 is still a lot. It is a lot, but whenever you think about the fact that streaming is just so transient, like, for example, you can get banned. Oh, well, now you're banned. Now what? Like, all of your job experience,
and that's,
everything
like,
that you did,
I would hope
like,
that
it's
if you-
completely different.
you would
like,
have-
you have like a 3-year gap in employment. You have
Yeah, like if you're a streamer, I would hope you can deal with getting banned. Like, don't spend all your money as soon as you get it. Like, you see that with lottery winners and you know, people like rappers who blow up or whatever. They spend the money as fast as they get it. Like, have a backup. Keep some in the back pocket just in case. You don't need a $5 million mansion. Like, what is that really going to do for you? And I think you see that in every industry where someone gets a lot of money fast, is they spend it just as fast, so it doesn't really do them any good.
have like this online presence that, you know, creates a context in which people see you. So yeah, you can get fired. Exactly. No, yeah, you definitely can get fired. But the difference is that, like, streaming, there are jobs that exist in entertainment that streaming helps you understand and learn. That's definitely true. But at the same time, there are also a lot of people, and I think in most traditional jobs, those people don't really have the same opportunities. It's like, for example, if you work as an accountant and you get fired from one place, it's not going to be as hard to get another job as an accountant.
There's a lot of different
versus
banks you
if
can go to.
Work on
A lot of different
Twitch
places
and you
you
stream
need
on Twitch, you get
accountants.
banned on Twitch. It's probably going to be a lot harder for you to transition over to YouTube or Kick. That's my point, right?
I mean, that makes sense.
There's negative externalities if a streamer wants to get a real job. Yeah, of course. And so it's really not that complicated. But anyway, yeah. So Hasan said this today, and naturally everybody is congratulating themselves. And so there's a lot of people. Streaming is literally the easiest part of being a content creator. You just sit down, make money, just spawns in. It's just so goddamn free. Who is this guy? Does he stream? They have 400 viewers. Streaming is easy. Being good at streaming is hard. Hopefully now he understands.
Honestly, I think
understand,
200
obviously,
to
there's
400
a lot of people.
probably be the
bad
sweet
take.
spot.
No, isn't 400 viewers good? Oh, it's definitely good.
Because you're
But
making
you're
money.
not going to go and tell somebody
you're
who's
not
one of the top
dealing
streamers
with a
on
lot
the
of
entire
the-
platform that it's
Yeah.
easy.
A lot of the
Do you
bullshit
really think
someone
that
at the top
Hasan's
would probably have to deal with.
experience and this random's experience is going to be the same?
They're definitely
streaming?
different.
That's insane. Of
Like, he's
course
probably got a
400 viewers
community
is good.
built, and it didn't.
But
He
don't
doesn't
go
really
talk
have to
to
deal with
somebody who
anything
gets
outside of that community.
20,000 regularly and act like you're on the same level, because you're not. All streamers have some kind of cope. Well, what's the cope here? I mean, I'm not really sure if I'm understanding this. You say people disagree with his take on the whole job thing, made up fake reason to
Yeah, the clip doesn't say that he's saying it's harder than a real job. He's saying it's draining in a different way than a real job. And then he says, and there's real jobs that do drain you in the same way if you're like dealing with people. So people are just straight up misinterpreting the video because they don't like Hasan, probably.
shit on him for it. When you added a word to his take socially, it does a lot of heavy lifting, unless I miss some context, kind of disingenuous. Well, he's talking about socially. Like, the reason why I'm saying that is because that's what he's saying.
Yeah, he
So,
didn't
for
say
example,
it was like
if
physically
I listen
harder.
to the clip, right? Like, you just listen to the first few seconds of the clip.
No. Social battery wise, unless you're in
So I'm not using the word. I listen to the clip. That's all. It's not hard. I think most people made up their mind on something like this before they listened to it.
That would be my guess.
So whenever they have to hear
Same with this
context
video.
that makes their original assumption wrong, they're getting mad at me. That's the problem. Exactly. It's like a supermodel saying they have a harder job than a catalog model. Well, I'm not really sure. Hasan's an artist. His father famous for being Young Turks. Everybody always has their opinion about Hasan. And I understand that you might not like things that Hasan has said on his stream.
Yeah, he says a lot of stupid shit.
There are things that he might have said that have upset you, that have made you mad, that you don't like. Why not focus on the real ones?
Yeah.
Why are you inventing things that didn't happen and then getting mad about them? It makes you look stupid. If you have all of these problems with somebody, then it doesn't seem very legitimate whenever you have to make up new problems that don't actually exist. That's what my opinion is. They're soft, yes. The guys are making, what's this here? A career, these guys making a career of being bitter. Isn't that pathetic? Oh yeah, absolutely. The area of conversation with politics is more draining than some other types of streaming? Oh yeah. Hasan didn't start from zero. Who cares if he did? Very few people start really from zero. Most people have advantages, and I'll tell you one thing.
Look, people wouldn't watch Hasan if he was a shitty fucking streamer and they only hated what he had to say. Like, yes, him starting, he didn't start from zero, and he's got a wealthy family, but that doesn't mean that people don't watch him because they like watching him. I'm sure he gets a lot of hate watchers too. But, I mean, no one's sitting here watching Hasan just because his family's rich. So I don't get that either. I think Asmon's probably just going to read comments from here, so we'll just go ahead and call it. But, yeah, I don't see why people are mad at Asmon's video or Hasan on this one. Because they're just making shit up. Like, I don't really like Hasan with a lot of stuff he says, but this isn't one of them. So, I don't get all the hate. It's like people are zeroing in on what they perceive the video said, and they're just running with it. They just pulling shit out of their ass. If you get a job advice from a streamer, you might as well get financial advice from a gambler. Yeah. I mean, it depends on what you're doing. If you're going to gamble, then if he's a gambler who's making a lot of money, then maybe you should take his advice. But, I mean, you don't ask a gambler that's outside in a ditch. A real job won't suck the soul out of you. He didn't say that, though, did he?
A real job doesn't suck the soul out of you. You know what I mean? In the same way that 9 hours of streaming absolutely will.
Yeah, a real job won't suck the soul out of you in the same way as streaming. But then he clarified that there are equivalents. Like, he's talking about like a job where you're dealing with people nonstop. Like retail, customer service, and things like that. So again, you're just cutting it off. Like you're not reading the whole video, whole context where he clarified himself. Well, if he gets a maid, like the dude has millions in the bank, refuses to pay a maid to clean, so he doesn't have cockroaches crawling over him. He's too far gone. Well, I wouldn't pay a maid no matter how much money I have because I don't want someone else in my fucking house. But if Asmon did get a maid, everyone would dunk on him for being a millionaire with a maid, so I don't think he can win there. Crazy take, you can quit streaming whenever you want. You have more than enough money to survive. I mean, that's the same for any job where you have enough money to do whatever you want. It's called retiring. So again, I think people are just mad because they're looking at someone who's really well off, and so they're not being genuine. Like they're being disingenuous with their responses here. Like obviously doing anything is going to drain you in a certain way. So I don't know. I don't get the hate. Everyone's super fucking mad at this video, and I don't see why. Because both Asmon and Hasan clarified that they don't mean that it's easier to be a regular job. They're both saying it's still draining in a certain way, and everything's gonna drain you, no matter what you're doing. So I think it's just stupid all around, to be honest. But we got some more stupid shit to look at, so we're gonna move on from this because I don't understand why people are fucking mad. I guess I kind of get why they're mad. They're mad because they're seeing people with a lot of money complaining about problems. And people don't want to see someone who's well off complaining. I think that's what it is. Anyway, y'all have a good one.